Hi, this is a quick video about how this very wide panorama was made that goes from night to day and from spring to winter. So this is the image that we'll use to initiate the process. So the process is quite extended and has various different sections which we'll cover. So this is just a rough outline made in Photoshop into simple layers, and then it is noised to give the model something to get hold of and to imagine upon. So I want to decide the basic composition and the sort of big blocks that make up the image. And this is done very simply with gradients and layers in Photoshop. I could do this in layers in Comfy, but really in Photoshop it's a 20-minute job, and to set it up in Comfy would take a couple of hours. So I do it in Photoshop, and so we move to Comfy with this now and see what we do with it. So here we are in Comfy, and I'm using my sort of general purpose layout here. So other videos I've done are to describe a single purpose, so that they're arranged so that I can make quite a well-organised workflow to demonstrate whatever I'm trying to get over. This, however, I'm doing in my rather noodle frenzy general work area, which I'll just describe briefly. So here you see our image loaded in. We're not using this one. This one can be used to add extra elements over this if I wanted to. If I wanted to say another castle here, I could drop and change my mind. I could drop it in here and move it around, and but I don't. I'm happy with this, so I don't need to do that. But that's what this does here. Here is our basic checkpoint, and we've got 3 LoRa's, but 2 of them are out of action at the moment. We might bring them in later. And this area is just to load and resize this image into the first module. The prompt is right back here. We'll zoom in so you can read it. It's not very exciting. Wide landscape, city, castle, sea, distant mountains, spring, morning light, digital painting. Digital painting is for the Eldritch digital art. LoRa there. I would always advise to start with as simple a prompt as you can, and then add words and to the negative or to this as you want to make changes. You know, if you have a look at what you get with the simplest of words first, because that's the best. Well, certainly I found the quickest way of employing it. You know, you could get lucky, but I like to load the dice in my favour if I possibly can. This is an absolutely straightforward image to image. It's taking that wide loaded image I've put in, and it's not changing its size. See the rescale? That won't be doing anything when we launch it. And this does our simple first generation. Okay, we'll run that. So here it is back. It didn't take very long. It's quite a small image. And here we have spring, and it's spring all the way across. So I now have to work out how to get from spring, which I want spring over here, and I want to go through autumn to winter to deep winter over here, and I also want to go from early morning through afternoon through evening to night with moon over here. Now you cannot prompt for that. If I could make up a prompt to pull that in, but I assure you it wouldn't look anything like what you want. So what we have to do next is to go back to the prompt here, and what we're going to do is prompt for the next season. So here we go. I dropped the wrong one in here. So we're going to go for winter anyway. So this is the prompt at the other end of the panorama. So the middle 2 are summer and autumn, and the prompt, each time I change this prompt to reflect that. So this one is exactly the same, except it says midwinter and twilight. And what I'll do now is go to the 4 results that we get from that. So here are 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. And what I do is to take these off into Photoshop, and I'm going to join them together into a rough cut. So the first half will be spring and summer, and the right hand half will be autumn and winter. It'll be in 3 equal quarters with a bit of an overlap. So I won't show the process in Photoshop. It's very, very simple. So here's the rough put together. They've literally just been laid side by side in Photoshop, and then using mask layers I've merged them together really quite roughly, and I've put in a rather optimistic moon on the right hand side, which I suspect the Comfy will ignore completely and put a moon somewhere else, or it's going to put a sunset image in the middle just to annoy me. So I break this into 4 sections, which I'm going to put through the next stage to go up in scale and to refine the image. So here's my 4 images. As you can see, there's quite a generous overlap between each one. So I need this because I'm going to be prompting from day to night and from spring to winter again, to sort of to try and exaggerate the changes between all the seasons. So I need quite a bit of overlap to make the join. So each of these images I'm going to put through with a separate prompt, and we'll get out of that we should get 4 images to put together again, which are a little bit nearer to our final intention. So we'll go back to Comfy and we'll have a look at how that happens. Okay, so here we are back in Comfy, and here's our image loaded in. This is the last of them, the very wintry nighttime one, and there's my optimistic moon. This is the last of the ones I'm doing, so I've done the other ones. So I concentrate on the last one because it's got all of the prompts for all of the different ones in here. So a few things have changed because we're now 1 section on. So here's the original section, and now we're 1 section on. So we're rescaling by 2. We're doubling the size of the image. The original image was very small, mind you. We've added another LoRa, which is Hmong Safe Tensors, which is a LoRa based on a very good fantasy illustrator, Jean-Baptiste Hmong. So just to add some more style and more coherency to the detail is what that LoRa tends to do. So have a quick look at how this prompt ended up. This is the final one I did. So you see we have a wide landscape as before, castle, a little bit more description you see here about the castle, and then lots and lots of winter stuff. It was a bit reluctant on the winter, so there's lots of winter to thick snow, and then we have nighttime stuff, drifts, moonlight, etc. A mood prompt, magical, and then these are the keywords for the LoRa's. And the weight on the denoise on this section is 0.5, but I think I tried it from 0.4 to 0.55. You just have to try, and I tried a few different seeds, so I got a bit of variety in the image, and then if I've got one bit I don't like, I can transfer that bit in Photoshop from there. So we look at the other prompt. So when I've done a prompt, I've copied this and then pasted it down here. So I've still got my early prompts. So here we go. This was the spring prompt. So we've got, again, just a wide landscape. We have no castles, we have a town, a farm. We have no sea in this image either, so the sea has gone. The sheep was an error. Yeah, I got sheep all right. I took it out on the one I'm going to use. So we've got everything that we can see in the guide image from spring, essentially. The LoRa's need to stay the same. So here's the autumn one. We do have a castle in this one. So we have, again, a wide landscape castle and a style description there. We have sea, we have autumn, we have the time of daylight, and the rest of it is the same. And then finally, the midwinter one, which has a little less wintry stuff in it, and you see it has afternoon light. I vary that between afternoon and light, and I sometimes put late afternoon light. I tried a few different ones. So let's go back to our input image here, and I'll prompt that, and we'll see what it gives us. So here it is. It took 2 minutes to process, which isn't too bad, and it's pretty much finished image as far as the background goes. So I think all of the stars and the sky and so forth, they all look very nice. We'll go back to what we started with here, do a side by side. So I hope you can see that the image has retained its character entirely, but it's been refined. That's the main thing with the refining step, is it makes the image better finished. And you see we're a lot more wintry and snowy. We've got much thicker snow here. It's much colder, and we have stars, so it's much more nighttime. So what I've done is put each of these through, and for spring, summer, autumn, etc., and also running through the times of day with each of these. So each of these I've already done, and we'll have a look at how they turned out next. The final assembly has to be in Photoshop. You can't prompt across the whole width. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen even if you put it together and then prompt, I'm afraid. It'll want to make it either day or night. It's not going to give you both, whatever you do. But so we'll have a look at how these four turned out. There was a variation on each one to allow me to erase and substitute bits that I preferred, I liked particularly, or get rid of bits I didn't like. So we'll have a look at those four next. So here are winter choices, and as you see we have a bit of variation. We have upstart castles and distant hills, and what I will do is combine these together. I'll chop bits out, and because they're so similar, almost any part will fit in on top of any other part with very little effort. And you see we do have our lovely moon in the place, so I did get lucky with the moon. But notice the other three, the moon is anywhere and everywhere, or just missing. So that's AI generation for you. Let's look at the others then. So this is the next four. This was, I'm going from right to left. This was a mixture of autumn and winter. So we've got an autumn one in there, top left, and then we get more wintry because I want to have to the left it to go a bit more autumny before it goes off into summer. But again, I've got a nice variety, more upstart castles in the distance, but I can get rid of those. And there's plenty of material there for me to be able to assemble something for the final refine. So here's spring, summer, and as you see, summer on the left and autumny on the right, and I should join those two together so that the image goes from summer to autumn, and the same job on spring and summer above. And that should produce a good enough image for the initial stage. And I'm going to cut out the important parts, the village, the castle, the castles, etc., to make images for a final refinement, and we'll look at those next. So from those generations you've just seen, I've cut out the bits that I want to take further. They're the main compositional areas of the panorama, so that they're the bits that hold the foreground and make the picture in each section. So I've cut out the village and the farmhouses, top left, and then there's a sort of buildingy thing on a promontory. So I think that needs to look better. It's a bit grotty. And then there's one castle, and then the final nighttime castle, which also needs to be more developed than they are now. So they go back to Comfy, and I use these images to do a further refine, to drop back in on top of my initial wide render. So here we are back in Comfy, and here's the nighttime castle we want to rework. So I've loaded that in here. So you see we're one down workflow from here. We've still got the LoRa's going, but we've gone into an area where we're going to refine, and I've got a load image here, and we have a new prompt which is all about the castle and how surrounded by snow and stuff it is. So we got Baroque domes, roof walls, just more information about the castle. Baroque is a style thing, should make it more exciting. We shall have to see. So we're enlarging, so we're going up 1.5, rescale, 1.5. Because it's going to be quite a large image, I'm encoding tiled and I'm decoding tiled as well. Those of you with monster machines won't need to do that, but I run out of VRAM if I don't use that. So we'll prompt that and see what happens. So here it is back, and as you see, we have pretty good resolution. We have a bit too much resolution really. But that brings me to another side issue you might find interesting. So I'll just bring, moving the whole lot around, I'll just bring the image we started with, and I'll explain something about scale, which is rather useful. So this image was used for the image to image, and you see one thing that has changed is the scale. This is much bigger and huger and in every way. So this is actually rather useful. So this is a 2048 image, so quite a big image. If I did a 1536 square or a 1280 square from this, then the scale of these buildings would be different. So I can probably show you an in-betweeny one with a bit of window juggling. So you can see how the scale changes. This is a 2048. This is, I think, a 1536. So there's been a subtle difference if you look. The people are about half the size. The buildings are generally of a different scale. So this is actually rather useful, because when you're refining, if I'd have done a slightly smaller one than this, then I can adjust the eventual scale of my buildings that I want to crop in. If I zoomed right in on this, and you know, I could make it like a vast city, which is quite a useful thing to be able to do. So next we'll look at how it was all put together, and I'll go into Photoshop and I'll demonstrate how we assemble the images in Photoshop. So here we are in Photoshop, and we've got, here's our very wintry one, very nighttime one. We have another one generated with a slightly different prompt, which was prompted for evening rather than nighttime, so this is twilight, I think. So this was twilight, and this was moonlight, I think, moonlight. So that was twilight, moonlight. So first of all, I want to put these two together and merge them together. This is a process I use throughout. So if we drop one over the other, pop that in there, we can get rid of that one. So if we click between the two, you can see the difference. Much more nighttime over here. So what I do is I put a mask layer, which is the thing down here, and then with a brush, with a soft edge, I can paint out over here. So do you see we're painting out? And if we want to paint back in again, we can paint back in again. So I want to get rid of that little moony job there. So I would finesse that, but I shan't bother for this demonstration. So you see the fit is absolutely perfect. And see how it's gone to dark, gone to night. Obviously you get little discontinuities, but it's very easy to find a join. So that's the easy bit. So I would flatten those two together, and I could then target my little nasty bit there. There we go, gone. And then I want to extend the image off to the left so I can drop the other one in. So we have the this one here, which is wintry, a bit wintry, but not as wintry. You can see that. There we go. This is the method I used to make the initial wide thing, so I didn't want to demonstrate it twice, so it would bore you to tears. So we'll double the width of this, so we'll extend the canvas, double, which will be a bit too much for it. And we'll drop in this image. There we go. And we can close that one off. So there's this is autumn to winter. I have another image to do the left hand side of the autumn, but I won't do that because this will be quite enough. To get them aligned, I usually decrease the transparency a bit, and you can see it's very easy. Get them aligned, and then it's the same process again. I put on a layer mask and I paint between the two. You see how easy that is. We have that road. Oh, and you see if you go too far, you can paint it back in again. You can go to and fro as many times as you want. So we'll just flick between those two, and you see you've got a perfect drawing. Zoom out a bit. And I will do the same thing, but I'll put the end of an autumny one over here, so that we would go from autumn here through into winter, and earlier in the day as well. But I won't demonstrate that now, because it's just rinse and repeat. It's the same job again and again. So what I'll show now is how I put the new improved castle in here. So here's our new improved castle, and I usually, to make less effort, I use the subject select, which as you see has selected our castle for us, which is very nice. And there's our castle. Now I can at this point see how much bigger it is. Now I want it larger, but maybe not quite that size. We'll see. I could have it that size, it would be okay. But we'll come down a little bit, maybe about that, just to cover up the castle underneath. That's pretty good. So there we have a new castle. It's exactly the same process again. Make a layer mask, get a brush with black or white on it, black to paint it out, white to paint it back in again. And yeah, the tricky bit is going to be here. I don't quite know how that joins on. Well, it's something like that. So it's very easy to finesse with a small brush. I can neatly, and if you use the lasso, you can do it even more accurately. But I'm just being lazy. So anyway, so take that away, put it back. So if you want to clip that off exactly, you can use the lasso, clip it off, make a nice sharp edge. And there we have our fancy new castle, which as you see fits perfectly. And I will do the same for this mansion here. Shall I go and get the mansion? So we'll drop our mansion in. It'll probably need a little bit of levels adjustment there to make it fit, but overdo it. That looks about right. And the process is the same again. Okay, and there's our mansion. I would probably make it a little bit smaller. That makes more sense. But as you see, very straightforward. So you have a little bit of cleaning up, but it won't take great Photoshop skills. So that's it, really. I hope you enjoyed the process, and I hope that all makes sense. I probably won't put a workflow in because it wasn't really about workflows. It was about how you use pretty standard workflows to construct a complicated image. Okay, thanks for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed it.